Dennis Rodman has finally peeled back the curtain on what fans thought was one of basketball's greatest partnerships, his relationship with Michael Jordan. Despite dominating together during the Chicago Bulls' legendary 1990s dynasty, Rodman revealed that he and Jordan never had a real friendship. For 3 straight years, the two icons never shared a personal conversation outside of basketball. No dinners, no hangouts, no late-night talks, nothing but business. Rodman says their entire relationship was transactional. Jordan didn't accept him because of his personality or individuality. He tolerated him because he needed him. He needed Rodman's relentless rebounding, his suffocating defense, and his ability to outwork everyone on the floor. In Jordan's eyes, Rodman wasn't a friend. He was an asset, a piece of the championship puzzle. Behind the scenes, Jordan found Rodman's behavior strange and even distasteful, but he understood that Dennis was essential to winning, and winning was the only thing that mattered. That cold calculation defined the Bulls' culture: performance over connection, dominance over brotherhood. What makes this revelation so powerful is that it exposes the darker reality behind Michael Jordan's image as the ultimate leader. The so-called chemistry fans worshipped wasn't built on trust or respect. It was built on necessity. Dennis Rodman's honesty forces fans to question whether success built on emotional distance and control is really success at all. Michael Jordan's icy prediction that Dennis Rodman wouldn't live past 40 has resurfaced as one of the coldest moments in NBA history. Rodman has spoken about that comment with a mix of disbelief and pain, not just because it was cruel, but because it revealed how little empathy Jordan had for what Rodman was going through. During the height of the Chicago Bulls dynasty, Rodman was battling depression, addiction, and suicidal thoughts. Instead of compassion, he got judgment. Jordan didn't see a broken man. He saw a liability. That mindset exposed how far Jordan's obsession with winning went, even at the expense of humanity. And the infamous Vegas rescue story, Rodman says that wasn't brotherly love either. When Jordan supposedly flew to Las Vegas to bring him back to the team, it wasn't friendship that motivated him. It was control. Jordan needed Rodman on the floor for the playoffs. It was never about saving a teammate. It was about saving a season. Rodman's truth dismantles the myth of Michael Jordan as a selfless leader. Behind the highlight reels and championship banners was a man who saw people as chess pieces, not friends. This story doesn't just challenge the legacy of the Bulls dynasty, it forces fans to question what greatness really costs. Dennis Rodman has accused Michael Jordan of being one of the greatest actors in sports history, a man who hid his real personality behind a carefully manufactured image. According to Rodman, the Michael Jordan that fans saw in the media, the smiling icon in Nike ads, the global face of the Chicago Bulls dynasty, was a mask. Behind the scenes, Rodman says Jordan carried a deep disdain for teammates, coaches, and even fans who didn't meet his impossible standards. This wasn't leadership, it was domination disguised as professionalism. Jordan's brand thrived on perfection, but his relationships rotted under the weight of ego and control. Rodman claims Jordan's treatment of teammates wasn't motivational like the media framed it, it was emotionally damaging. Players like Scottie Pippen and Steve Kerr didn't rise because of Jordan's leadership, they rose in spite of it. They learned to survive the verbal abuse, the constant belittling, and the psychological warfare that Jordan used to fuel his own fire. Rodman's testimony exposes the darker reality of NBA greatness. It challenges the myth that Michael Jordan's intensity built champions. Instead, it broke spirits and created silent resentment. The polished image of the GOAT may have sold sneakers, but the cost was human connection. The real question Rodman forces fans to ask is this: can a legend still be a leader if no one ever truly wanted to follow him? Dennis Rodman continues to call Michael Jordan the greatest basketball player of all time, but his praise is telling. It's not about friendship, mentorship, or leadership. It's about relentless work ethic, scoring dominance, and an obsession with perfection that bordered on madness. Rodman's words cut through the myth. Michael Jordan wasn't the heroic teammate the media portrayed in The Last Dance. He was a ruthless competitor who demanded everything from everyone, but gave nothing emotionally in return. That emotional detachment became the foundation of the Chicago Bulls dynasty, built on performance, not connection. As the video explores deeper, it exposes the darker side of Jordan's legacy, the gambling controversies that shadowed his career, the brutal leadership tactics that left teammates scarred, and his infamous political neutrality that prioritized business over morality. When Jordan said, "Republicans buy sneakers too," it wasn't just a line. It revealed a man who valued his global brand more than taking a stand. Rodman's revelations don't aim to destroy Jordan's greatness, but to redefine what greatness really means. Michael Jordan's dominance, his championships, and his brand empire were fueled by discipline and ego, not empathy. The question that lingers is whether the cost of that greatness, the broken relationships, the silence, the fear, was too high for those who stood beside him. Dennis Rodman's raw honesty about mental health, depression, and trauma exposes the human cost behind the Chicago Bulls' legendary win-at-all-cost mentality. While the NBA world worshiped Michael Jordan as the ultimate competitor, Rodman's vulnerability reveals what that environment really did to players' minds. Jordan's image was perfectly calculated, a corporate icon who never showed weakness, while Rodman was the mirror opposite, chaotic, emotional, and painfully real. He admitted to suicidal thoughts, alcoholism, and feeling completely isolated during the Bulls' championship runs. That contrast between Rodman's openness and Jordan's cold perfection shows how toxic success can become when empathy is stripped away. Their partnership, built entirely on professionalism and mutual utility, was never about trust or friendship. It was about survival. Jordan needed Rodman's defense and rebounding. Rodman needed Jordan's platform to prove his worth. Together they won rings, but behind the banners were two men at war with themselves. The video concludes that this relationship represents more than just Bulls history. It exposes the NBA's long-standing culture of psychological warfare. In that era, pain was motivation and silence was strength. Rodman's story forces today's fans to question whether the relentless pursuit of greatness is worth the emotional destruction it leaves behind.